one of the things that I write about in the book of Mind Games is I deal with all of the thoughts and feelings during that time. And I kind of chronicle stories where God surprised me with hope and
Hmm.
interrupted my depression with an invitation to victory. One of the things that happened was right before my dad passed, he gave me his keys to his office. And he said, if you ever need to use my office while I'm in the hospital, you can use it. And my dad was one of those guys that when he was in the hospital, he thought, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to be preaching again, but I don't want my office to go to waste. So you can use it while I'm here. And so I did not realize what keys were on that key ring. And for the next couple of years, I was often locked out of our building. And I'd have to call a security guard, a maintenance guy to come and unlock doors. And they would always ask, why didn't your dad give you the keys? And I said, well, he gave me the keys to his office, but not the keys to victory. And I said, I guess he didn't trust me with that. And I remember constantly feeling locked out physically and spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I remember one week a guest speaker came, TD Jakes, and he preached this powerful message, and it was strong, and people got saved and set free. And then another week it was like, I don't know, my mom was friends with all these faith preachers, Kenneth Copeland or Benny Hinn, and they would come and they were anointed to do what they did. And John Hagee, like, all of these voices that my mom and dad were connected to. And I was like, they have the keys, but I don't. They have the keys to bring hope, bring healing, bring grace, get people to come to Jesus. I don't have those keys. And one night I was locked outside the building and I had that ring of keys my dad gave me. And I called our security guard. He said, hey, I'm locking up doors on the other side of the city. It's going to be an hour before I can get back to our main campus because I'm at the Dream Center. He said, you're just going to have to wait. So I start trying to break into our church and I can't get in. I start trying to shimmy my credit card between the cracks, I start trying to punch the glass. It's too thick. I'm hurting myself. And then I think, okay, I'm going to take this old set of keys my dad gave me. I'm going to shove it into the keyhole. And I'm going to try to yank that door open. Well, when I put it in the keyhole, it fit perfectly. And I was like, wait, what? And I
Wow.
turn it and it locks the outside door to our church. And I was like, what in the world? So then I'm thinking, God must have just changed my key. He morphed this key. So then I take that same key and I go to the choir room and it unlocks the choir room. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I might have the master key to victory. And I didn't realize I had it this whole time. And I go to the auditorium. The auditorium, my dad built our church auditorium the year before he passed. He built a 5,000 seat auditorium. That's a huge auditorium for any city. But like maybe in a city like Houston or Minneapolis or Dallas, where there's like 2 million people or 3 million people, that kind of auditorium might be normal. In a city like Tulsa, we're not a capital city. We have 700,000 people in our city, which is big, but it's not a million. And that auditorium had become less and less full since he passed. It had shrunk down. We were using pipe and drape curtains to block off 3/4 of the room. So we were only using like 800 chairs, and it was really sad. And I remember that night taking that key and walking up to that main room and just thinking, okay, if this key works on this door, then tonight everything's going to change in my mind. Something's shifting. And I turned the key and unlocked the room. And I sat on the stage and I just started crying. And I could just see my dad up in heaven, like, duh, you finally figured it out. You've got the keys. And I was like, God, I've been questioning if I have the keys this whole time. I've been living with insecurity, inadequacy, inferiority, depression, thinking that everyone else has the keys. My older sisters have the key. Pastor John Bevere has the key. These people, but now I'm getting this revelation. Christ in me is the master key to victory.
Oh my goodness.
And I had this like epiphany. I'm going to pastor this church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And Christ is the head of the church, but he's anointed me to lead and I have what it takes. Not because of my personality or my last name or anything else, but just a revelation that Jesus in me is enough for the dream he's placed in my heart to do.